course because basic French language in this subject help us to be on Quebec. So if you're going to see the Upper Canada and the Lower Canada here, the Ontario and also the Quebec. So Quebec has the bigger size according to 1791 uh, political map. Okay, so that's why in the lower part or in the near Atlantic Ocean, the upper Canada, which called Ontario, is just a little bit. So the War of 1812, during this war, the French and the British worked together against the United States who tried to invade Canada. So the war resulted in the draw, but it defended the US-Canadian border and increased the sense of Canadian to join to protect their land. Okay. So this is the war in 1812. After the war, they realized that they hated themselves because of that particular British act. Meaning to say they are just playing around because of those British Empire that is roving around in the Newfoundland, which is also called as, correct, Canada. So they thought that Great Britain was too far away to understand their economic and political needs. So in the province of Canada in 1837, Canadians began to rebel against British control and they began to make some sort of, province of Canada and Canadian provinces because in 1841, those provinces become united, meaning to say there is no Ontario, there is no Lower Canada or Upper, but there is only one Canada at all. So the British North America Act, meaning to say if you're going to look or on going to observe the particular process where in the history of Canada, there are a lot of countries who want to invade and also to become the emperor of this particular country. However, in 1867, there is the British North American Act created for the Federation of the Union of the Canada. So it joins the colonies of the Quebec, Ontario, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia. So the Britain accepted the agreement, and because of that, they are protecting those colonies, which are too expensive, because in Canada it's making dollars. So in Canada in 1867, upon looking on the political map, after the Confederation, we have the Ontario, the Quebec, the New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia. So the Transcontinental Railroad. So this began in order for us to sell and to help the economy to trade more. So meaning to say, because just like here in the Philippines, if they're going to build some sort of buildings, roads, and infrastructure, they may say that the economy is rising. Soon there was enough money to build railroads and across the nation. So the Transcontinental Railroad was built in 1886. So the people could easily travel with the Atlantic Ocean to Pacific Ocean. So this is what this Transcontinental Railroad looked like. So expanding Canada, when Canada became the Confederation in 1867, there were only four provinces. And what are those? Nova Scotia, Brunswick, Quebec, and Ontario, where leaders decided to expand the country from the Atlantic to the Pacific. So they bought a land in the Hudson Bay Company, so it's in the upper part of the map. And eventually, the First Nation, the Inuit, agreed that they are going to relocate because if they will not going to relocate it, there will be some sort of another war. And the three provinces in one territory was created, namely Manitoba, British Columbia, Prince Edward Island, and the Northwest Territory. So just like also in Canada, there are always corruption in every government that we are looking at. So in the Canada in 1870,